moral, whether the states can afford them. If you're a lawyer, today's a good day to pay attention and give me a call. You are my guest. I want you and I to have an honest, down-to-earth conversation. What do you think about these issues? We're going to take them all one by one. I'll take your calls. I'll take your WhatsApp messages. I'll take your tweets. Twitter is Nigeria Info FM. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. 080 959 75805. We're streaming on Facebook, so please get on Facebook and leave me your thoughts as well. Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's start with the Zamfara situation. It all started a couple of weeks ago. The immediate past governor, Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, wrote a very hot open letter to the current governor, Bello Mohammed Matawale. And the letter basically said, "Pay me what you owe me." According to Yari, he was owed 10 million naira a month in upkeep allowance, and the state government was refusing to pay. Yari threatened in the letter that he would sue the government. So according to the governor, Matawale, once he got the letter, he called a meeting with the deputy governor, the speaker of the house, and the deputy speaker. And the governor says he asked them, "Do you think you will need such a large pension when your term is over?" And they all said no. And so they decided there and then to end the pension for governors, speakers, and their deputies. And Governor Matawale said two other things that you need to hear. In fact, I'm going to quote him directly. The first thing he said was, quote, "The backlog of pension and gratuity for local government workers and primary school teachers left behind by Abdulaziz Yari's administration stands at 3 billion naira, while that of the state government retired civil servants also stands at 3 billion naira." End of quote. So according to the current governor, the former governor owed 6 billion naira in pension payments to teachers, to civil servants, and other government workers. The same former governor who is threatening to sue for his 10 million naira a month pension. Now here's the second thing that Matawale said, quote, "What moral justification could be offered for such a jumbo package for a select few when the social index has consistently indicated that the majority of our population lives in abject poverty?" So the governor is saying that as long as the people of Zamfara state are living in abject poverty and with such poor facilities and infrastructure, it is immoral for governors and other political appointees to receive big money from the state's treasury. And I want to see if you agree with him. I want to know if you agree with him. Is it immoral for state governors or speakers to get pension packages if the state is poor? Or do you believe that it is their right to get a pension since they served the state? How do you feel about governors getting pensions while civil servants are owed? Do you believe that there should be, a rule that civil servants get paid before political appointees and elected officials? Do you think that such a rule will make the politicians pay the civil servants on time? Some people have said that none of these things matter because politicians will find other ways to pay themselves. Do you agree? Several things to unpack. Is it immoral for state governors or speakers to get pension packages if the state is poor? Do you believe it's their right to get a pension because they've served the state last? How do you feel about governors getting pensions while civil servants are owed salaries? Do you believe that there should be a rule that before politicians and political appointees and elected officials are paid, civil servants should be paid? Do you think that that kind of rule will make the politicians pay the civil servants on time? Or are you like the people who say, "Oh, this thing no matter, no worry. Politicians, they go find another way to pay themselves." 01277 0993. That's our number for women. 01277 0993. You can also call us on 01277 1993. 01277 2993, 01277 01277. I think I've said all the numbers. And then WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Hello.
Hello.
All right. Good evening. Turn your radio off.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Samuel Adewuni.
Samuel Adeniji. Is it immoral for state governors or speakers to get pension packages if the state is poor?
When in reality, our politicians do not serve their states. Rather, it is their state that is serving them. So they are on that premises. I don't think they deserve such huge amount of money after they leave office.
Okay.
So that's my position on the topic.
All right. Thanks for calling to share it. Hello. Hello. Turn your radio off. Okay. Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Godwin.
Godwin, welcome to the show. Is it immoral for state governors or speakers to get pension packages if the state is poor?
My dear sister, if there is a word better and deeper than immoral, I think that serves the so-called state governors.
But is it not their right since they've served the state?
What a right! What a right! People who serve 35 years serving this nation, civil servant, military, police, and whatever, how much are they being paid at the end of their service? Yes. Now, these people, they have what they call sovereign allowance or so. As they are finishing from governor to Senate or House of Assembly, they are sent off money they collect, and they welcome back into the new regime.
I don't think it's accurate to say that it happens with governors. I think it happens only with senators and House of Reps members. But I'm not sure.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm telling you authoritatively what is happening. So these people, they don't have us in mind. And as such, they need to be chased away with whatever needs to be to make sure that selfishness, the wickedness, it is stopped, and let the ordinary people that they are supposed to serve get what they deserve. It is the heart of wickedness of the highest order by the exhibition of that immoral act they are doing.
Okay. Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Good evening. What's your name?
Good evening. Austin calling from Surulere.
Hello, Austin. Do you think that if we have a rule where civil servants are paid before politicians, it will make civil servants be paid on time?
Yeah, I think taking a cue from that, I think it is very immoral in the first instance what these governors are doing.
Okay.
Of course, look, let's put this in perspective. I'm just coming from the hospital. Do you know that I got to that hospital around, because I'm trying to put it in perspective.
Okay.
I got to that hospital around 7. As I speak to you, I'm still on the way coming back. I've not even got home. Because of the number of patients a doctor has to see. In fact, you need to go to Lut or go to Igbobi, because these are places I have had the experience of going to. In a particular day, a doctor has to see 100 and something patients. I'm not exaggerating. It has to, and why is it so? Because there's the law of opportunity cost. You cannot be taking so much without other vital sectors of the economy suffering. And that is what we have on our hands. And it cuts across every other vital sectors of our economy. Because people are appropriating illegally something that is not supposed to be in a stupendous manner to themselves. I take another one very quickly. Just now, your station reported how the Auditor General have reported that about 4 ministries had to take 1.something trillion naira, illegally, and did not remit it to the central post. So, and you have this all over the place. So, it is just the same thing as it goes. And one thing that pains me is the issue of impunity. Now, such a thing was reported. You Just watch out. Nobody will suffer any consequence for doing this. And that is what is happening. Any person can get away with anything in as much as he is in authority. And that is what we are having at hand. So, what other word can you use apart from immorality? It's immoral and not justified.
All right, Austin.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling me. Since this Zamfara State House of Assembly law was passed, the public's reaction has been split. Some people say that it's a very welcome move. They agree with the governor's points, Governor Matawale's points, that it is immoral for governors to get huge pensions while civil servants are owed and while most of the state lives in poverty. But some other people have criticized the governor. Yes, they're saying that the governor is not doing this out of a sense of justice or morality. They claim that this is merely a political fight between the governor and his predecessor, Yari. They're claiming that the governor is simply trying to weaken Yari by making sure he does not have access to money for politics. Some have said that if Yari had been, in quotes, playing ball with the governor, this would not be happening right now, and the governor would still be paying him the pension. And when people make this point, those who support the move say, does it matter? Does it matter if the governor is doing the right thing for political reasons? And they say the answer is no. They say it should not matter whether or not the governor has scrapped pensions because of political fight. All that matters is that he has scrapped pensions and that it is a good thing for the state. And I think it's a very intriguing debate. What do you think? They say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. But in this particular situation, where two elephants are fighting and the grass is actually benefiting, is it, can we frown? Is it something to frown at? I mean, if the political fight between a governor and a former governor can lead to a state saving hundreds of millions of naira every year, is it bad? But as always, I have a counter argument to this. People have asked, who says that the money that is saved will be used to benefit the people? According to those people, even before these big pensions were passed into law, governments in states like Zamfara were not using their budgets wisely for the benefit of the state and the people. So now, even if the pensions are scrapped, those who saved funds would still be mismanaged. Those saved funds, they'll still be mismanaged and squandered. That's their arguments, not mine. I'm quoting what people have said. They're just going to be squandered on something else. Yes, they've saved it by not giving the former governor his pensions, but they'll send that money somewhere else where it's squandered. Like I said, it's a very interesting debate, and it has so many different angles. And I want to know which of the angles you agree or disagree with. Do you think the decision by Governor Matawale and the Zamfara House of Assembly to scrap pensions for governors was political or not? Do you think it matters whether it was political or not? Do you think the money that will be saved will be used wisely? Do you think common citizens of Zamfara will benefit one way or the other? 01277 0993 01277 1993 01277 2993 01277 3993. There's WhatsApp. Don't forget, WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
My name is Ade. I'm calling from Marina.
Good evening, Ade.
Hi. So, my own point of view is a little bit contrary.
Okay.
I believe what the governors are doing is very right.
Okay.
I believe they are doing the best in the interest of
the people,
ambit of what democracy has provided for us.
Okay.
We always feel that we are powerless in democracy. So if we vote people in and these people say they want to take 100 billion every month and as citizens we don't exercise our democratically given powers, to remove them from office, they are very well free to do anything they want to do. We always feel powerless. I mean, I grew up in my teenage years under the military regime, and I always wondered that when democracy comes, we'll be able to participate in governance. I'm close to my 40s right now, and we feel very docile. We voted people in to represent us, to manage our resources, and in principle, they're supposed to be reporting to us. Now they take decisions, and we feel powerless every time. So if the governors want to take 100 million as severance pay or monthly, whatever, then very well they can do it. Democracy has provided means for us to remove any person elected by us. We can recall through our representatives. During every 4 years, we can vote out people that are not doing well. But what are we doing? We keep giving them chance to come back. We keep voting for them. We keep campaigning for them. And we now come on radio and be disturbing everybody's peace. So if we feel powerless as citizens, then the governors and the leaders and the elected people can do anything they want to do.
Thanks for calling to make it. Sylvester Emekawali on Facebook says it's highly immoral for a civil servant who works less than 10 years to not be entitled to pension, while a governor who serves only 8 years is entitled to pension. Why should that be happening, he says. Aberachukwu Priest says, hi Sandra, this is totally wrong, selfish and wicked. The problem lies with the state assemblies who are not independent-minded in lawmaking. We have somebody who's listening from who's watching in Kaduna. If you want to call us, our number is 01277 0993. 01277 1993 01277 2993 01277 3993. Prince Nsa Efiom on Facebook also says pension for past governors, speakers and their deputies should be channeled to rural development and empowerment. Okay, let's see. How many more stories do we have? How many more comments do we have? A lot of them coming in, but let me go to WhatsApp. You can send me a message on WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75 805. There's no moral justification for public officers that worked for 8 years max to any form of pension. Opeyemi says, and Opeyemi's messaging us from Ihumbo. It's not only immoral, it's also criminal for all political class to earn pension and severance allowance. The position they assumed is not an employment, neither do they have contract of or for service. They deserve nothing while exiting from office. Now, is that a fair judgment to make? Is that a fair judgment? Biodun says, Sandra, whether poor or rich, they should not get such pension package, whether it's a poor or rich state. They should not get such pension package. Their salaries, allowances while in the office is more than enough for any reasonable and contented human being. Okay. More messages coming in via WhatsApp. Good evening, Sandra. You're doing a good job. Thank you. And he says, let's call a spade and not garnish anything. What is bad is totally bad. What's immoral is totally immoral. The state is poor, for Christ's sakes. Okay, yes, the state is poor. But did the governor not serve the state? Did the governor not serve the state? Does he not deserve that the state takes care of him for the rest of his life? Now, where person walk in the chopo? We have more comments here. Honestly, Zamfara governors deserve the Best Governor of the Year award. I don't know the justification the ex-governor has to ask for pension when he left 6 billion naira debt. He should be ashamed of himself despite all that they have stolen when in office. I know we shall get there someday with God and the likes of the present governor of Zamfara. That's a message from Ayo. Ayo, thanks for getting in touch with us. Civic service rules states that a civil servant is pensionable after working for 10 years. The politicians are elected civil servants. They have not worked for 10 years. Hence, they are not pensionable. Taking such a huge sum from the state coffers is stealing. Interesting. Jasope from Lakawe says it doesn't matter whether the state is poor or rich. If truly they came to office to serve, they do not deserve any pension the moment their tenure expires. I'm sure politics is not their personal business. They should go back to what they were doing for a living before coming to office. They shouldn't depend on the state allocation. All right. Thank you for sending your message across. Facebook is still available if you want to send in your message. Vincent Okoye says only in Nigeria a governor gets pension after 4 to 8 years in office. WhatsApp again is 080959 75805. And this person says, Afam says, you see fire incident to bandits, so kidnapping, so robbery, property, every single problem of this country is caused by the politicians. Okay, that's probably not an accurate statement, but okay. Now we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about the law according to Serap, because Serap went to court, right? Remember that I said that there are two sides to this particular story. There are two sides to this matter. So the Zamfara law and the High Court ruling. I told you that the High Court partially agreed with Serap that pension laws for former governors are not in the national interest. So we'll take a look at that after this break. Don't go away. You're listening to Sandra Ezekwesili on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and we're looking at pensions for ex-governors. It's caused quite the conversation everywhere, and we're having the same conversation right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Hard Facts.
And like I said, we're back. Keep the comments coming in via Facebook and WhatsApp. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We're having conversations about pensions for past governors, speakers, their deputies. Big hard fact, according to Zamfara State House of Assembly leader Farouk Dosara, the state was paying 700 million naira a year for the pensions of past governors, speakers, and their deputies. We're having this conversation because last week, the Zamfara State House of Assembly voted to revoke the pensions of past governors and other top elected officials. Now, let's widen our scope because we've been talking about Zamfara State. But now I want us to talk about the nation as a whole. Because here's the thing, the Zamfara state isn't the only state that had pension arrangements for former governors. Now, you know that I lived in River State. I lived there for years. Between 1997 and 2018, I lived in River State. And the state provides pension packages for every elected governor that served a full term. The package includes houses in Rivers State and Abuja. Then, of course, it has monthly allowances, the same type that Yari complained about no longer receiving. It also has allowances for change of vehicle. And when the pension law was passed, there were lots of complaints from Rivers citizens, but still, it passed. And it is still the law till today. And of course, other states have similar laws. But of course, we all know that governors do not just go into retirement when their term ends. We have many former governors who, right now, are serving as ministers of the federal government or as senators. In fact, many people have jokingly called the Senate a retirement home for ex-governors because so many of them, like clockwork, they end up there. But according to SERAP, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, so many of these ex-governors, while serving in the Senate or as ministers, are already collecting their pension packages. So basically, they are receiving pensions as ex-governors and salaries as senators or ministers at the same time. And not just salaries, of course. Remember that senators receive accommodation allowance and vehicle allowance and wardrobe allowance and other stipends. So imagine a former governor whose pension includes a house in his home state and in the FCT, but is still receiving accommodation allowance as a sitting senator. So Serap said, that ain't right. That ain't right. We ain't gonna take this. Ain't nobody got time for that. And so Serap went to court. They were asking the court to order the federal government to order these 7 ministers and senators to refund the states that have given them pension packages. In response, the federal government said, look, these are state laws. We don't have the right to tell states what to do with their money. That was the position of the Attorney General, right? But now the court has spoken. The High Court said that the Attorney General can take the states to court. The Attorney General can ask the courts if these pension laws are fair and legal. By the way, I should say at this point that one of the ex-governors who is now a minister has said that he has never collected his pension package. That's Rotimi Amechi, the Minister for Transport. You know that he was governor of Rivers State for 2 terms, right? From 2007 until 2015. In fact, it was while Amechi was governor that the Rivers State House of Assembly passed the pension law for governors. And Amechi signed it into law. But this week, after the court ruling, Amechi came forward to say he has never collected pension from the state. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about the idea of an ex-governor receiving pension while also receiving salary and allowances as a senator or minister? Do you think it's ethical? Do you agree with the court ruling that the AGF should challenge the legality of these state pension laws? Do you think it's fair to ask an ex-governor to relinquish his pension? After all, he served the state. Or should the pension payments simply be suspended until he finishes his ministerial or senatorial job? And at that point, does he receive both pensions? Because senators also receive pensions. So should the senator also receive a pension? And if he's a former governor, also receive pension from his state? It's a lot. 01277 0993 1993 2993 3993. Leave me your messages on Facebook as well, Nigeria Info 99.3, and share with me via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Frank Thompson on Facebook says there's no need for a governor who has stayed in office 4 to 8 years to be receiving pension. He should go back and do something meaningful. After all, without the pension money, that governor will still never be poor. Vincent is in Apapa. Hello, Vincent.
Hello, Sandra.
Good evening.
You know what? It is not only despicable, it is evil. But then how do we grapple on this looting, massive looting everywhere? We have so many states, Lagos, Edo, Rivers, the Akwa Ibom owner, Bababio, once was public outcry. I mean the emoluments, because we are only saying about the pension. There is one jumbo pay, heavy jumbo pay. Their emoluments, the one you pay them 300%. They won't give them about 3 to 4 cars, and they replace it in about 3 or 4 years. Subsequently, hello.
I'm hearing you.
So the problem is there is mega criminality in governance structure in Nigeria, and that is exactly when. Let me tell you one thing, because in my environment, sometimes when I talk about politics, especially about the present dispensation, some people that knew then will just come and say, "Oh, guys, don't come and talk about this here. You are supporting them." I said, when the results of the 2015 elections were trickling in, I said maybe this is the way God wants to to restructure the sphere, both politically and whatever. But then when Mr. President now came on board, after a few months, we saw the body language was saying something about few weeks, few months. So down the line, you saw it was almost the same game. That's why we are yearning for a hero, because now it is now we don't see any. Is it the idea that we take these guys as the court has said now, take them to court? They will just sit down here and control them to write differently. Okay, let me ask you one question now. In some of these states like Rivers and the Edo, it was passed immediately. Someone was given up to the passed the same emolument. We were only talking about the pension. The pension was down. Yeah, that's the emolument comprises of. You pay their age or number of age. It wasn't mentioned. You pay. It is heavy
money. Vincent, let me talk to Chooks in Aja. Hello, Chooks.
Yeah, how are you? I'm calling back.
All right, welcome back.
It's not only immoral, but it is despicable. In fact, it is unthought of, because this is a topic that almost everybody across board agreed on, and they are on the same page across the political divide, religious divide, ethnic divide. I have not seen any person that has said anything otherwise against this judgment by the Federal High Court. So because this situation is unsustainable, imagine if we are futuristic, we will know that by the time we have 10 to 15 governors with their deputies, with the speakers, and some other, I even add that PA to the governors, they are, roped in all this illegality. I don't know what will be left for the state to run the affairs. And coming down to Zamfara, they are just coming out of that banditry problem. I think the governor, he can just not do otherwise if he wants to succeed. It's a very good step in the right direction.
All right, Chooks, thanks for calling. Lawrence in Festac thinks it's not totally immoral. Finally, somebody who doesn't think so. Lawrence, why?
Yeah, honestly, it is really not totally immoral.
Turn your radio down.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
Because normally these are people who have served their state, right? So at least they deserve the state pension. But this is what I really think here. The pension they get currently is still bogus, right? But if they're going to be paid pension, I think they should be placed on health insurance kind of pension, where after they come down from their offices, they can still be going to get medical checks and treatment. But then again, it should be limited to only the hospitals in Nigeria.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So that's what I think. They should be paid pension, but not to be giving them pension for cars, for houses, for trips to Dubai and all. But pension that is structured in a way that it is, related to health, their health. When they come down from their office, they can be getting health insurance. You
Okay.
get to hospitals that are only within the country, unless extra then okay then they refer
So
out.
they should get pensions, but very structured pensions, not the.
Yeah, very very structured. They could something like the NHIS.
Okay.
Just something like that, but I don't know how they want to do it. So just with something like that. Pension that is related to health. Just their health. That's all.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling, Lawrence. Interesting. Chris says it's inhumane. Why is it inhumane, Chris?
Okay, my dear. Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, my dear. Welcome.
Yeah, my dear sister, it is inhuman to think of it. To even conceal it in mind, even before processing it out, it is immoral, to say the least. Sadly enough, some of those states who have actually enacted this particular law, they have little or nothing to offer when it has to do with their IGR, internal generated revenue. Let's say salaries. Someone who has served the state as a civil servant for more than 35 years who won't get anything to be paid. Then someone who is served a state for just a minimum of 4 or 8 years will now be, clamoring for billions of naira. It is inhuman to think of it in the 21st century. If you agree with me, in developed clients, this cannot happen. In developed clients, you haven't heard of lately or before now someone in the clamoring for a salary or any monumental anything because they are laying a selfless service to the nation. But here, if everything has been monetized, no wonder they kill and do everything to remain in power. It's very unfortunate.
Thanks for calling me, Chris. We've got a message from Chris Waneri from Magodo who says it's criminal after all their looting of the people's treasury. And says, please visit River State, confirm Rotimi Amechi's claim for us. Okay. We're going to have to get in touch with our correspondents in River State so that they can confirm that. This one says the best thing to push all of them into jail so that Nigeria will have peace. Michael, you cannot just push people into jail. You have to, first of all, charge them with something and then have them convicted by the courts and then send them to jail if they're found guilty. Anonymous in Amuodofing says this calls for celebration. Okay.
Yes, it is indeed. Sometimes you tend to want to turn black to white or turn white to black. My dear, it never works that way. Over times, we travelers are being mocked abroad because of the things at home. Look, this guy, Ojo Zakalo, is somebody that is well known. I happen to be an Easterner. It is touching and very disappointing how these people carried forth an impunity under the PDP, and today, justice has totally prevailed. We believe more will come, and more is going to come. There is this saying in our local parlance here when he said, every day for a thief, one day for an owner. Myself, I declare, may God bless Muhammad Buhari for strengthening our institutions, that all of them that has done this to the poor masses of this country, today are ripping it off. Also, too, I want to make my own take on the angle of the ex-governors and the way they tend to take the office of the governor as an opportunity to rip the masses of this country blind. I happen not to be as hungry. I know for myself. I only feed for my stomach. I sit down sometimes, I wonder, is this not the same money we all make? Why do you go to this extent? So, my dear, it calls for a celebration.
Okay.
May God bless Muhammad Buhari.
All
Amen.
right,
Thank
Anonymous. Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. This one says, my presido, it is wrong. How can people who work for 35 years and they're not paid, the governor should put themselves in the shoes of the civil servants? After being there for 4 years, it's not fair that for them to get pensions. Some have died because of no payment of salaries. I support the present governor. This should apply to other states that this issue occurs. Only the governors cannot do everything. They should be considerate. Okay. After squandering security votes for 8 years, their greed is not satisfied. This person says, so many messages coming in via WhatsApp. I'll take Victor's call and then go back to WhatsApp. Hello, Victor.
Hello, is this Sandra?
Yes, Sandra, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In fact, there's no language to describe this type of action by our governors, our politicians. You see,
I think the Zamfara governor and the judge should be given awards.
Okay.
They are bold.
Okay.
Like the governors, like whatever I've seen, the governor, if he's somebody who is greedy, he will maintain it. When he leaves office, he will also collect it. But he did not think of himself, but thinking about the people. And even these people, those who are receiving it now, or the governor, did they leave the office as poor men? These are people we feed with our money. For the 8 years they stay there, they feed on us and collect salary. So the salary they collect for the 8 years, where did that money go? Then they will feed them, feed their extended relations, like what is happening in Aso Rock now, where a department of an estate in the Aso Rock is allocated to extended family. We feed them. When they leave office, we should continue to feed them. It is evil. And they have no conscience. Their conscience is dead. If there are people who have conscience, they will not. In fact, it is really very painful that even up till now, none of them have even made a statement concerning this issue. Those of them who are receiving it. Except for a missioner whom they say is refuting that he had never received it. But we need to confirm this.
Victor, thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Mr. Darlington says that this thing should even extend to ex-presidents, okay?
Yes, Sandra. How are you doing?
Very well.
When are you, Uncle?
Don't do that.
Is he around?
He's at a meeting. Go ahead, Mr. Darlington.
It's okay. I'll tell him more. Now, is it enough to receive this thing with just the ex-governors? Is it? It's not. I am sure by the time you dig deeper, you will discover that the ex-presidents are collecting more. So, if we are going to crucify the ex-governors for what they are collecting, we should go further and look at what the ex-presidents and head of states are collecting. They are even the ones taking the lion's share. So let us not restrict it with the governors. Let us not think that the governors are a problem. Look at all the ex-presidents. They have helicopter, helipad at their backyard. Is there in the constitution? Is it in our constitution that they must have an airport, private airport, where they will take off and land? All of them have it in their villages. For what reason? That money now they use to build those helipads. Who is funding it? Do you know how much we are using to maintain that thing? And they don't use that in often. A wastage. It's a wastage. So they should not let me believe that it's only the governors. The ex-presidents are taking the lion's share. Let them tell us how much they are being paid, so that we now know those who are eating us.
All right, Mr. Darlington, thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Franklin from Magodo on WhatsApp says, we don't want a former governor going cap in hand begging a few years after leaving office. However, the pension package should be drastically reduced to something like ₦1 million a month. All right, Franklin. Thank you for sending that message across. We've got Benny from Sabo who says there's no justification whatsoever for the jumbo pension. It's more so due to the level of poverty in the places that they have governed. All right. It's absolutely injustice and immoral. It doesn't matter whether the state is poor or rich. The governors should not receive pension. And that's a message from Owama. Owama is in Ikorodu. Hi, Sandra. This is greed and unpatriotism. That's what's worrying our politicians. Until we speak up, and if they don't act, okay, please don't beat anybody up. And he goes on to say, the key is in our hands. It's not left for us to use it. Ozogula, thanks for sending that message across. Don't beat anybody, please. Dayo Nikeja says there's no justification for pension planned packages in whichever form it comes. How do you justify serving your people for 8 years and after you milk them for their resources for life? This is robbery. The judiciary has taken a legal decision which is citizen oriented, but I don't think the executive and legislative arms of government will have the political will to do the same. That's a message from Austin in Surulere. Good evening, Sandra. The decision by the Zamfara state government to legislate against the pensions of predecessors is perfectly in order. In fact, the ruling against the policy is long overdue. However, whether Governor Matawale's motive is political or not, to me, it really doesn't matter. I just hope the same governor will not demand for the same that he opposes now after his tenure. In all, the policy is a waste, it's exploitative, it's immoral, it's nonsense. Tajuddin from Ifako sent that message across. Ororo from Ayobo says, these things are worse than scam. Meanwhile, they're busy chasing young boys for cybercrime, but our politicians are stealing the nation's wealth with big pen. What they do is legal crime, and then they go on to pray for us. Who will save us from us? All right. Hi, Sandra. Have you noticed the jobless youth that smoke Indian hemp at Oshodi and in different parts of Nigeria? I traveled to my village and I was shocked by the number of jobless youths waiting for a chance to do crime. The Nigerian political class, from the presidency to the local government, should be paid as civil servants. That's a message from Dozier. Dozier, thanks for sending that across. What the governor of Zamfara state did was right, and it will be useful for the development of the state, Alhaji Lawal says. Alhaji Lawal, thank you for messaging us. Bamidele from Ijesha Tedo says, I think the governors deserve to be paid pension just like any other person in the private or the public sector. I think the government should halt the pension payment after taking up another government appointment, taking into consideration that it's not a retirement. You cannot receive pension while still in active appointment. It's highly immoral for any ex-governor or top official to earn such humongous pension after just 8 years in office. It should be rejected outright. And that's a message from Nnamdi Uzouku. Nnamdi, thanks for your message. Sandra, do I hear you saying that Odjus or Carlo will be back 8 years in prison? No, you did not hear me say that. I did not say that. He has been sent to 12 years. He's going to do 12 years in prison. That was a ruling from the court today. This person says, God bless Buhari. I think looters on all sides of the divide will be jittery now. The judiciary has woken up and I pray that this is sustained. That's a message from Noble. All right. Good evening, Sandra. My name is Austin. It's not only immoral, it's evil, it's barbaric, it's wicked, it's inhuman. I am short of words to describe it. If you're wondering why all these words are reeling out of my mouth, it's because we're having a conversation about pensions for ex-governors. This conversation is because last week the Zamfara State House of Assembly revoked the pensions of past governors and other top elected officials. And away from that, the courts ruled after the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, went to court to demand that former governors who now hold other political positions should not be allowed to draw their pensions until they are out of office. The court ruled that the Attorney General of the Federation should take the state to court if they have pension laws for former governors that he does not believe are in the national interest. So the court kind of agreed with what SERAP had to say. And then we had people like Rotimi Amechi coming out to say that he has never received pension from River State. And so we're basically having a conversation about the controversy that arose as a result of these particular incidents, separate but related incidents. And I'm asking what you think about pensions, because I didn't have experts today. You were my expert. You were my guest. I wanted to know what you thought. What you think about these issues. What do you think about pensions for ex-governors? Do you think it's immoral for state governors or speakers to get pension packages if the state is poor? Do you think it matters, Seth, whether the state is poor or rich? Do you believe it is their right to get a pension since they served the state? I'm talking about the governors and the speakers now. How do you feel about pensions in general? How do you feel, for instance, about whether or not this matter is political?